Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to DIY with Nadia and welcome to another Wreath Wednesday. Today I'm making a very elegant DecoMesh wreath that you can use for weddings, baby showers, anything you want really. It will be a bubble wreath, but I am putting my own little twist on it. You will see what I mean towards the end of the video. Let's get started. To get started on this wreath, you're going to need a few things. Now, this is a wire form from the Dollar Tree. It is 14 inches, and I was lucky enough to get a beige one because they're usually that dark green color. Then you're going to need some 21-inch Deco mesh and some chenille stems. And also, I do always start my, if I do a bubble wreath, I always start and end with a zip tie just to make sure you have a nice, secure hold. Because of the holidays or something, I'm not sure why, I have not been able to get any new Deco mesh from the Dollar Tree. So I am actually going to my regular stash here, and this is so beautiful. Look how bright and like iridescent it is. So to get started, I'm going to unwrap it just a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just about 1 inch to 2 inches just to have a nice tail. I'm just walking it up to the middle and then to the top. I try to kind of keep it as straight as I can. To tie this to my wreath, I usually like using either the second or the third intersection right here. So I'm going to go to the third row, and I'm just going to push my Deco mesh down and come on in with my zip tie. I'm going to push it down so it's nice and smooth up here. And I usually like to order my zip ties from Amazon, and because I know it's nice and secure, it's going to hold it. I just feel like the Dollar Tree zip ties are not strong enough. Okay, let's have some fun here. Before I start making my loops, I'm going to get my pipe cleaners and cut them in half. They cut fairly well with scissors. Sometimes I use wire cutters, not a big deal. To get started on the bubble, I'm somebody who likes, I guess, my Deco mesh to go the way it's supposed to in the beginning, so I don't fuss around with it too much as I'm going along. So my bubble is always going to be going this way. It's going to look like a bubble, and I just kind of take the ends, bring them in, and I measure out my 10 inches. My 10 inches is this bar right here. So I know I'm going from here to here. I'm going to bring it in. And obviously you can do, 8 inches. You could do 12 inches. It all depends on the look you're going for. I'm grabbing my pipe cleaner and I'm going to work on the third row. Some people like to grab 2. I feel more comfortable when it's a single row. It doesn't have that room to move around, but it's just me. You can definitely do both of these rows. I just feel like it's more secure with that one. I'm going to give it 2 twists, and I'm going to push it down. Look at this. Isn't this a beautiful bubble? And I really didn't have to do anything. It's already formed. And we are going to push it to the side. And there is the side view of my little bubble. And since I started with my edges kind of on the inside, see how they're kind of on the inside already? It's just going to be easy. It's just going to follow my direction here. And this wreath can definitely be used for holidays and events like weddings, especially because of this beautiful white mesh that has iridescence to it. Definitely can use it for weddings and, life events, I guess. I'm just going to give it 2 more twists and then kind of bring the wires together and then fold them in half. It's just nice, quick, and it gets all the sharp ends out of the way so it doesn't scratch your wall, door, wherever you're going to hang it, and it looks nice and neat. For today's Wreath Wednesday, I'm collaborating with my sweet friend Jenny from Lovely Moments Creating, and she just started another channel called All Things Lovely for the Mature Woman. On her DIY channel, you can find an assortment of gorgeous, simple, clean, farmhouse DIYs. I absolutely love her style, and I'm sure you will too. Her channel link will be in the description box below, so please check her out and let her know I sent you if you are not subscribed to her already. If you're here from Jenny's channel, welcome to DIY with Nadia, where we absolutely love wreaths.
So this is 6 loops, 6 10-inch loops in this one section. I think I'm going to add one more, but honestly 6 should be just fine. It also depends on the color that you're using. The darker the color, it's going to look better. But just because this is a white wreath, I'm going to give it one more loop just to make sure that it just has a nice full look to it. You can do this any way you want, but what I like to do is after I'm done with a particular section, I just go back and fluff out that area. With the white one, I want to make sure that each section has enough poof and enough of the DecoMesh. So that is why I'm going back and I'm just making sure that it's enough. This is what the wreath is looking like so far. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go all the way around, complete it, doing the same steps. And then I will be right back and we'll do a little bit of a bow decor. Okay, and I'm about to make my last loop, and I'll have to tell you this. If you are going to use the Dollar Tree DecoMesh, the 5 yards, you're going to need 2 of these because my DecoMesh was 9.1. It would have been better if it was 10 because I'm like down about 2 loops, not enough, but that's okay. We're going to put a bow and we'll make it work. But if you're going to use the Dollar Tree one, definitely you will need 2 of these rolls. And yes, I did use a pipe cleaner, but I'm also going to go ahead and use a little zip tie. With the pipe cleaner I have left on hand, I am just going to take both of these ends and kind of bring them together. And so obviously my bow is going to go right in this kind of emptier section, but we're still going to fill them up. And so what you can do is I do these kind of twists where it goes from one end to another, and then I'll take them and I kind of do like almost like an S right there, and it fills up that space. And what it also does is, you know, it's going to get thicker in that area, so the nice thing about it is it's going to cover the wire form, especially if you can't find this like beige one and you're using the green one. This is what I was talking about when I was saying that I have my own little spin on it, and it's doing these. You usually don't find people doing this, but I feel like when you do this, besides getting full and stuff, it has this beautiful kind of overall look on top of it. And yeah, I just think it helps the wreath. It's just, you know, I think it's prettier, honestly. Let me know what you think. I think it's a cute idea, but you know, wreaths are so much fun and you could experiment with them, and I definitely do, and I enjoy it. And you can go different ways, by the way. Like if I'm doing the S this way, I'll do it this way. It doesn't matter. You just kind of, I try to conform to the DecoMesh, see where it wants to go, utilize that, you know, 21 inches and to your advantage, you know. That's my take on it. And it's kind of going to look like there's little rosettes almost. Today we're going to be making a loop bow. This bow is amazing. If you have ribbon that's left over, like I have this Easter one, then I have this one left over. This, I have a lot of this, so I'm not, that's not a leftover. I just wanted a little bit of like a rustic feel to it. But really it's going to be an elegant wreath because look at these together. It's going to be lovely. So basically the basic one, or the most important one, is this one. It is a wired ribbon that I got at Joann Fabrics a very long time ago. And the first thing you want to do is you want to measure how much you want your loop to be. I usually eye it and I say, this looks good. Then that is my length. I measure my length and let me see here. It's gonna be 20 inches, which is fine. So I'm going to get at least 3 for now and then see if I want to do any more. And so that means I want 20 inches of the other one. And I'm also going to make 3 of these. And this is just one of the simplest bows you can make. If you have a hard time making bows, this is the bow for you, I promise. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make ducktails everywhere. And I just fold it in half and do this. I'm going to go to the other side. And I'm going to do this to all the ribbon. So starting with my thickest ribbon, I'm going to fold it in half first. But don't pinch it right here because this is your loop. Here, this is where you decide how big you want it, and then measure how big your loop is going to be. Let's make it, let's make it 5. So 5, that means I have a 10-inch loop, 5 on each side. Make sure this is nice and fluffy, and then I put it in between my fingers at the point where I'm going to bring it all together. Next, I'm going to fold this in half just to make sure I have my middle. So start with the tails and then go about midway up. Now I'm just measuring, I have my 5 inches. There you go. And bring it together. I do this usually by eye, but if you want to measure, that's fine too. Bring it together, measure your approximate 5 inches, and then keep on layering it until you're all done. So this is what it looks like when it's all together. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of zigzag it together. And this is where you want to bring your muscles. You want to make sure you get it nice and tight. If you want to use a zip tie for this, I highly recommend it. Now I'm going to start fanning this out and just start opening up the bow. And some of them try to twist them so they're facing forward. Is it starting to look like a bow yet, you guys? These tails are going to be so pretty. And this is what's going to kind of fill the bow in. I am going to throw some tails up. But before we get too far, let's grab a chenille wire. And we're just going to do one twist. So we have something to attach to our wreath. But let's just have fun here. Okay, now that my bow is fluffed up more or less, I'm going to attach it to the wreath. And I want my tails, or the majority of the tails, to be kind of facing down. And I'm going to attach it between the second and third row. And it's going to fill in that space we kind of didn't have enough of our DecoMesh in. And now I'm just going to straighten it out as much as I can. The next thing I'm going to do is I have these little glitter berries from Easter. And I wanted to incorporate them in between the bow. Because as I said, this is going to be a little bit like on the shabby side. So we want to make it pretty. I am going to remove the greenery here because I just want the little berries. And the reason I'm keeping them kind of long is because I'm going to put them through the bow, but then I need to twist them around the wreath. Just starting here and there. Just going to poke through. Right there. And so in the back, I'm just going to twist around my wreath form and make sure that as you're twisting, the side that's sharp is going inside the wreath. And your berries are nice and secure, but also it is safe in the back. When you have a mess like this, and if you were to sell it, I highly recommend getting some white ribbon and just putting it right here, some wider obviously, and just covering this area and just hot gluing it or something, but this is a bit of a mess to just leave it like that if you're selling this or gifting this. Okay, now that our berries are in place, our bow's in place, the first thing I like to do is focus on connecting this right here. Because the bow will automatically push these sides apart, I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, put it through a little bit of the DecoMesh on both sides, just like this. I kind of loop them on, and I'm going to loop it around that last row. That way I know it's going to be secured and in place, and it's not going to pull apart. And then just work a little bit of the mesh right here in. Do you see? And now it's fully covered. At the bottom is not going to be a big deal because we do have all of the tails right there. And now let's just play around. Make sure you have the loops the way you want them. Make sure the berries are in the right place that you want them to be. And that's it.